Now that diversion is dealt with, it's time to go to the place that we're really supposed to go, the pre-gym. Firstly, though, I'm going to switch you into the front, and let's head in. Be ready for a fight the moment that you enter this building. Hi there, I remember you. Considering the theme here, you're obviously an imposter. Well, we're not going to fall for the old, annoying Ace Attorney thing of finding evidence and having it immediately taken away by the criminals because we were dumb and showed it to them. Thankfully, that stops happening after, I think that only happens twice in the series. It only happens in the first game and then in Dual Destinies, but, don't want to go into more detail with that because spoilers. Anyway, I have a great team for this. I'm going to Mark Punch you, and I'm going to Crunch the Curlier. Be a little bit careful about double targeting this fight because there are actually Shadow Pokemon here. It's kind of a theme with this game. Usually Shadow Pokemon are saved for compulsory fights. In fact, I think some of the very few optional Shadow fights in this game are the Hexagon Brothers the first time you encounter them. Anyway, we have a Natu here. Yep, it's a Shadow Pokemon. Natu is kind of weak and frail though, so be careful when you're attacking it. Also, I don't want to kind of preempt the bio here, but it's a little bit... I don't think it's that great that we get Natu right after we got Ralts, who's, in my opinion, probably better. Obviously not going to use Crunch here. I'm just going to go for Protect. Protect looks really cool in this game, though, I will say. Like, this is actually one of my favorite Protect animations in the series. In Colosseum, it looked kind of meh, but here it looks really cool. Anyway, you are paralyzed now. Just kind of a running theme here. And I called that, well, with the Protect. I guess I can try and go for a double Protect. And it failed. No, it didn't. Okay, I thought... Because usually if there's a longer pause, that means the move failed, but it actually didn't that time. Yeah, that much damage with a 40 base power move. That's why I was worried about attacking this Natu with anything else. You know what, I might as well just go for another false swipe, and I'm just going to go for... Yeah, Call is probably a more productive use of passing my turn. Yeah, I'm going to be able to catch this thing now. Paralyzed on red health, I don't want to speak too soon, I don't think there's any way you're going to be breaking out. Okay, but I will still use False Swipe anyway, just in case you break out. And my 17 Great Balls should be enough for the deluge of Shadow Pokemon I'm going to be running into from here on. Because, yeah, from here on, pretty much every single fight has a Shadow Pokemon. 1, 2, 3... Natu gets. Natu would be a lot better if we didn't just get Ralts in the last area. So, personally, I think that Ralts is a far better Psychic type than Natu, but it is definitely a decent option if you want to use it. It's a Psychic Flying type, which gives it an immunity to ground. It's not that amazing at using Flying type moves, though. It evolves pretty quickly at level 25 though, which is nice. For abilities, it's got Synchronize and it also has Early Bird. Both of them are pretty situational, but I'd personally prefer Synchronize. Stat-wise, Xatu, its evolved form, has decent speed and special attack, and fairly average stats elsewhere. Its bulk isn't terrible, but it isn't great either. I'd say though, if you have Espeon, there is no reason to bother with Xatu. Espeon's overall stat build is pretty much Xatu but better. However, this Natu is a Pokemon that you might want to keep with you because it has one of the most useful XD exclusive moves for competitive battling, Baton Pass. So I'm just going to talk about this now. Really, the only thing that Natu can Baton Pass is Calm Mind, but it also gets Wish at level 35, which helps with Baton Passing. Despite not being the best Pokemon in terms of raw stats, Xatu is actually a very good Calm Mind Baton Passer, so if you manage to get one with a good nature, definitely keep hold of it. But anyway, on to how it actually helps in-game. You regain Future Sight on Purification, which is really terrible in 3rd Gen, and you also gain Nightshade and Aerial Ace. Both of them are kinda meh. I already discussed Wish, but Xatu's other level up moves are really terrible in Gen 3. You don't get Confuse Ray until level 50, and Psychic until level 65. Save yourself the hassle and teach Psychic via TM. Speaking of TMs, Calm Mind is an absolute must on this Xatu. It synergizes so well with Baton Pass. You also have Light Screen to give a bit of team support. You also learn Giga Drain, which is kind of strange, and Solar Beam. I wouldn't recommend using Xatu as a Sunny Day setter itself, even though it does learn it. I'd more recommend teaming it up with another Sunny Day user. And Psychic is an option, and seeing as your attack is only average, Shadow Ball can be okay to help against Ghost types. For tutor moves, you have Double Edge, and also an option that we haven't seen before, Sky Attack. Xatu isn't the best user of Sky Attack by a long shot, though, but I'm just listing it here since very few Pokemon in this game learn that. And Thunder Wave is a nice option too. Overall, I think Xatu is outclassed by Gardevoir in terms of in-game usability. However, definitely keep this one for Baton Pass. It is one of the better XD exclusive moves when it comes to competitive battling. And we have beaten Eloine. That's kind of a weird name. Well, I mean, you stole Pokemon first, so I guess it's a pay evil onto evil thing. Now, this guy up here, he's not an imposter. He's still pretty freaked out at what's happening, though. Hi there, teacher. Yeah, let's get you back for all that stuff you were teaching these students about Pokemon battles. You want to see just tools for battling? I'll show you tools for battling. You're gonna get destroyed utterly. We're raiding Golbat, huh? Do I have any electric? No. Oh, well, it's fine. Let's just, I know that sounded pretty bad, what I said about... I don't actually treat my Pokemon as just tools for battling, but it's more like I want to just show her... She's saying, be merciless in battle. I'm going to show her that. It's like, yeah, I drained some health, and then it's gone. Not quite a one-shot there. That's kind of a shame. I am getting surprisingly lucky with Fire Blast here. Maybe Phenac City is... You survived, dang it. I forgot how cool Aurora Beam looks in this game. I remember it now, because I used a Sphere in my first playthrough, so obviously I would have seen it a lot, but it looks really awesome here. It's just like, I like just the really tiny beam and just the way that the colors come off of it, and just, it looks pretty cool in general. Anyway, Golbat is gone, and gave a surprising amount of experience too. Now, it's going to look like I'm really over-leveled for these fights, but once I get to the boss, I won't look over-leveled anymore, trust me. However, this Roselia is a Shadow Pokemon. Kind of a shame, because I really like Roserade, and if Roserade existed in this game, I'd probably be using it as my main grass type, but hey, I like Breloom. I'm glad that I'm using this Breloom. I mean, it's not much of a grass type, though, seeing as it doesn't really learn much in the way of, well, I mean, it does learn grass moves, it's just not good with them is what I meant. And, Roselia is the only thing left, so... Let's just go... No, I'm going to switch out. I'm going to switch out, and I'm going to go into Flaffy, and I'm going to Water Pulse, just because I don't want to take any chances. Because I seem to remember Roselia having really fragile defense. That didn't do very much, though. And yet another Shadow Wave user. We'll be seeing that quite a bit here. It's a long time before they start upgrading to the better version of Shadow Wave. And even the upgraded version of Shadow Wave I don't personally find to be that good. Thunder Wave, you, and I'm going to go out to Ricky just because I want to try and false swipe you. I forget exactly what Roselia's catch rate is, but I don't think it's high, but I could be wrong. The other annoying thing about Shadow Wave is that its animation is kind of... I'll say, speaking of moves that I think are cool, I love the sound effect Shadow Wave makes when it hits things. Something that I forgot to mention until now, but it's just something that I really like about this game. Okay, you are now paralyzed. Good. I'm gonna just try and Thunder Shock you and then Full Swipe you. Yeah, I'm guessing you have very bad defense. In fact, I can probably afford to Full Swipe you again. Yeah, one more Full Swipe should take you down to pretty much 1 HP, but just in case, I'm gonna throw a Pokeball on Flaffy's turn. Barely hanging on there. And you are one of my status users, so I do want to keep you around for a bit. And as an insurance policy, in case this ball fails, I'm going to go for a False Swipe, but let's see. Let's see how this goes. 1, 2, 3. Roselia gets... Instead of the mediocre Gen 2 Pokemon that got much needed evolutions in Gen 4 Club, Roselia is a rare member of the mediocre Gen 3 Pokemon that got a much needed evolution in Gen 4 Club. In fact, it got even more, a pre-evolution, making Roselia a mid-stage Pokemon, and personally, I feel it fits for that role. But that's in the future. For now, Roselia is stuck the way it is, and that's not that amazing. It's a grass poison type with some pretty decent special attack and okay special defense, but it is kind of slow and is painfully frail on the physical side. For abilities, you probably want Natural Cure. Roselia is not going to be surviving many physical contact moves, but Natural Cure is a nice ability that not many Pokemon get. For starting moves, you regain Magical Leaf on Purification, which is alright, but you actually learn some better grass moves by level up. And we've got a new XD exclusive move here, Sweet Kiss, a move that confuses the foe with 75% accuracy. It's okay at first, but you do get swagger by Move Tutor anyway, and that may be better in some cases. But the other moves you regain are Grass Whistle and Leech Seed. Grass Whistle is, well, its accuracy is terrible, but it is a sleep move and that's at least something. I'd say that Roselia's level up moves are the main niche that it has. It actually learns quite a lot of good things. Giga Drain at level 33 makes it one of the few Pokemon to get this by leveling up. Ingrain can be stacked with Leech Seed for a lot of healing, though it will prevent you from switching out. Roselia is also one of the few things to learn Toxic naturally by level. Though, I don't know if it's that useful on it. Petal Dance at level 49 is kind of decent. Even though it doesn't have as much power as it would have in Gen 4, it still does quite a lot of damage, though be warned that in double battles, which most of this game is, Petal Dance targets a random opponent, so it may not be that reliable. You also get a very unique move, Aromatherapy at level 53. This is essentially a better version of Heal Bell, seeing as it's not blocked by your own Pokemon having Soundproof. Not many Pokemon get this, so the few that do are kind of special. You also get Synthesis at level 57, but I don't really know if that's all that worth it. For TM moves, you have your pretty standard Grass-type fare. Sunny Day, Giga Drain, Solar Beam. I guess if you want to use Sludge Bomb for Stab, you can, but you've only got base 60 attack. For tutor moves, I have no idea why something this frail and tiny gets Body Slam, but okay then. And you also have Double-Edged Substitute, which can work as a Subseed combo, and Swagger for reasons I said earlier. Overall, there are definitely better grass types in this game than Roselia, but it's not really awful or anything. And it gets some interesting options. And we have obliterated the teacher. Of course, I have no appreciation for your work. Your work is evil! That also brought to you by the Lame Comeback Company. Okay, everyone's level 25 here. And now, finally, I can take that. Forgot to remove it for a while. Let's leave you... Let's go with you two this time. Oh, look! It's Justy! Surely it's the real Justy! It's the real Justy impersonator. All of the Hexagon brothers were all fakes. It was kind of obvious the mayor was taken prisoner, but Justy has been too. So, we have a battle before we can rescue the hostages, with Cypher P on Faustin. Kadabra and Sneasel. Alright, this is a fight that I like using Fish Slayer for. Dang it, that's fine. The Kadabra is going to go down to 1 return, probably, as well. So, it shouldn't really matter that much. Even though the Kadabra will probably try and get a hit in. I could go for Quick Attack, but it's probably not going to one-shot, so I'll just go for Fire Blast on you, and I'll just go for Return the Kadabra. Or, one of my attacks is going to be Moot, and it's the Return. Okay, so Kadabra gets to stick around a bit. Oh, no! Well, that's annoying. Forgot you had that. Still haven't missed with that, though. I probably will if I aim for the Kadabra. But at least Sneasel is down. Not that Sneasel is a particularly dangerous Pokemon in Gen 3. Mischievous. Interesting. And, yeah, flinch. I'm just going to go for a fire... Yeah, no, Stab Fire Blast is stronger than Super Effective Bite. Finally, we actually can use moves. We actually can use fire moves, because before Ember was just equal to Bite, even with Stab. Please don't confuse me. Yeah, of course you would confuse me. And Flareon has great attack, bad defense, meaning it's one of the worst Pokemon to get confused. You're all using Psybeam now. If you confuse 2, of course you would. Double confusion all the way, I guess. Well, at least that one. I thought so. I thought I'd miss anyway. I need to get out of here now. I'm going to switch out for... Fish Slayer's probably not the best. I guess I can see if you aim Psybeams at him. Her. Sorry about that, Fish Slayer. Okay, let's do this, and let's see if you aim a Psybeam at this slot. Premier Ball doesn't have that cool of a sending out animation. Yes, nice. That's 1 Psybeam and 2 Psybeams. Great. But this could still miss. It did, of course. With the AI, it's just how it always works. They use 1 double team, you never hit them. Do you have anything besides... I can just see how this goes, but... Yeah, at least they're smart enough to not hit the Dark type when they know there's one on the field. Ow! Well, Kadabra is pretty powerful, so I'm not too, surprised by that, but still. I am surprised by that, though. Didn't expect a critical. And we have Meowth. That's a strange Pokemon to be seeing here. And, even stranger, it's a Shadow Pokemon. Meowth's animations are pretty funny looking in this game, please don't hurt yourself. Of course you would. Orson had a really terrible time in this fight. But now, what will I do? I will send in... Actually, I should probably send in the status user, because I've got a Shadow Pokemon in the field. I could probably try calling to try and neutralize that, evasion boost, but for now I'll just Stun Spore the Meowth, even though this could miss. Shadow Rush! Rather than Shadow... And I don't get to crunch you! Here's where fighting so many battles in a row without healing gets, problematic. I think I'll go for you. The first few fights went pretty well, but this one, not so much, and again, that's kind of useless. Oh, that was stupid. That was really stupid. I forgot for a second that you were weak to Psychic. So, this is going really badly. I'm not going to commit my, my severely weakened status user to the fight until that Kadabra is gone. I could Shockwave it. That will get around the evasion. I feel like Quick Attack will actually do more than Bite. We'll see. Actually, no, Bite will probably do more. But I'll go for Quick Attack anyway. That was pretty impressive. And you are hitting pretty hard for a Meowth. The Meowth's faster than the Kadabra, too. Come on, good. Nice one. Well, there's Flareon's good special defense showing, and this should hopefully be Kadabra down. If it's not, I'm in trouble. It was good. And, once again, the spoon on... I still love that Phenac animation. That is definitely one of my favorites in the entire series, actually. But now we're in trouble. I could go for Sing, but I doubt that's really going to help. We can try. I mean, you could actually just use, not X-accuracy. Well, I mean, Calling is effectively X-accuracy. You could just do, Call to increase the accuracy of Sing, which is probably not a bad idea at this point. I was worried you'd do that. I am getting destroyed by a Meowth. This is embarrassing. I am going to Thunder Wave you, and then I'm going... Wait a second. Does only Persian have Limber, or can Meowth also have Limber? You know what? I guess we're going to find out the hard way. Also, I'm just going to go for a Super Potion here. Yeah, that thing is very fast. I was wrong to underestimate it. Let's see, moment of truth. Okay, at least it doesn't have Limber. Yeah, that might be a Persian-only thing, I forget. But you are paralyzed now, and I'm just gonna go for, I guess, Body Slam, and then I'm gonna go and just throw an not an Ultra Ball. This thing doesn't really deserve an Ultra Ball, as much trouble as it's been giving me so far. So, Great Ball go! One, two, three. Meowth gets. You're probably expecting a Team Rocket's Meowth impression. Well, I can't do a Brooklyn accent to save my life, so you're not going to get one, sorry. Anyway, Meowth might be pretty iconic, but how strong is it? Well, unfortunately, not that strong. It evolves into Persian at level 28, which is not that late, but upon evolution, it's not that amazing. It's got really high speed, but its other stats are average at best. The good news is, it's a much better cat Pokemon than Delcatty, but that isn't a very hard thing to achieve. As a Meowth though, it has the pickup ability, so if you don't want to use a Persian on your team, it might be beneficial to not evolve this Meowth. Pickup turns into Limber on evolution, which grants immunity to paralysis. Sadly, Persian does not get Technician in Gen 3, which robs it of its one main niche, which was using Swift and Water Pulse combined with Nasty Plot and Technician. Well, Nasty Plot isn't in this game either. Speaking of moves, what does this Meowth have? Well, Shadow Rush is a step up from Shadow Blitz, and on Purification that turns into Slash, which is an alright stab move. It's certainly no Gen 1 Persian Slash with a guaranteed crit rate, but you make do with what you have. For the XD exclusive move, we again have Sing. Meowth doesn't really learn much else that can replace this, so it's probably a good thing to keep. I wonder if giving Meowth Sing may have been an anime reference as well. Anyway, you also regain Meowth's signature move, Payday. It's a pathetically weak attack, but it causes you to gain money after the battle is over. Now, in this generation, I think the money you get is dependent on your level. Usually the Amulet Coin is a better method of money grinding, but this is something unique to Meowth, so if you are using Persian, you may as well use it. And then there's Bite. I would say this is bad because it's special, but your special attack is only 5 points lower than your attack, and both stats aren't great anyway, so really it doesn't matter which you use. But, shortly after evolving, you'll get Feint Attack, which might be better than Bite in some cases. You'll also get Screech for lowering the opponent's defense and maybe making your physical attack a little more impressive by comparison, and... this is so annoying. Fake Out would have been great if Persian had learned this earlier, but level 59? Really? Persian's speed would make it one of the best Fake Out users in this game if only it learned it at a reasonable level. For TM moves, take your pick from a bunch of assorted physical and special moves. For a normal type, Persian's move pool isn't all that big. It does get some interesting tutor moves though. Body Slam and Double Edge both get same type attack bonus. Dream Eater can be used in combination with Sing, even though it's really not all that reliable. And Icy Wind is always useful in double battles. I really don't know why this thing gets Icy Wind, but it does, and I guess you can form a pseudo Bolt Beam combo with Thunderbolts. And also there is Swagger. So overall, Persian is really fast, but not that much else. But it does have a few options that can work. And now I desperately need to heal. I really, really, really need to go back and heal. Unfortunately, we have more to do here. It's kind of funny, the reason he doesn't have the elevator key is because no one trusts him with it. But, yeah, elevator is not responding. We need that key. Firstly, though, I'm going to go back and heal. So, where could the key possibly be? There's only one place in all of Phenac City we haven't checked yet, so of course it's in the Colosseum. Let's go there. Let's see who I use for this fight. I might want to use Ricky here, and I think Leviatine is good for this fight too. Because obviously he's going to end up using that Nuzleaf. Recovery operation? What's the recovery operation? There's something more going on here than Cypher just randomly deciding to impersonate everyone in the entire city just for the lols. Speaking of which, there's a lot of people who really, well, they find this plotline one of the most memorable parts of XD. It's just, it is kind of creepy, the fact they impersonated the population of an entire town. So, let's just ignore that for the moment, and instead focus on... I should have used Fish Slayer, that's fine. I probably need to switch you out now I think about it. But you are going to get, hopefully, obliterated. I could have my first Fire Blast miss here, we'll see. Or, Leviatine could get fake-outed, and yeah. So, I did nothing that turn. Great. What's Torkoal going to do? Body Slam. Well, that could paralyze me. Or do massive damage, because it did both. Well, that's frustrating, but I'll just Water Pulse you, and I will Fire Blast, and I'll just leave, because I'm angry now. Well, it didn't miss, at least. But Nuzleaf has basically done its job, so really it's too little too late at this point. Don't get to see Nuzleaf fully fall over in this game, thanks to the faster fading animations. Swiner! Which, bizarrely enough, is a Shadow Pokemon. I don't know why, seeing as there was already a Shadow Piloswine in Colosseum, but it is what it is. I think Smokescreen looks kind of funny in this game. It's just like that, whoop, and just the tiny ball of smoke flying like that. Well, at least I wasn't fully paralyzed. Now, let's see. I'm actually going to switch you out for... Thunder Wave won't work. I actually have to use Ricky here. And I'll just bite the Torkoal, because it has bad special defense. This should be enough to finish it off. Don't want to risk being fully paralyzed by keeping Fish Slayer in. Fish Slayer hasn't really slain that many fish over the course of this game, though. And Torkoal is down. That's good. I can focus on the Shadow Pokemon, which is always a good thing. And it's still got Shadow Blitz. It actually takes a while for Shadow moves to get stronger, but when they do, they get very, very strong. I guess I can just use Quick Attack, even though I've got a 130 base attack stat. I hope this isn't too painful. Oh, it did kind of a bit of damage. Kind of had a feeling I'd miss there. Now, you also have Shadow Wave, but it's pretty terrible. This time, hopefully, Stun Spore will work. I don't want to risk critting you. I'm just going to go for Sand Attack. It's funny that I've kept Sand Attack for this long, but it's not like I have anything better to replace it with, so I might as well. Once I get Shadow Ball, I'll definitely be teaching Flareon Shadow Ball, because it's one of the few physical moves that it gets, and it's kind of useful sometimes. Okay, so at this point, it's basically just full swipe all the way, and just spamming Pokeballs. But I'll need to heal after this fight too. I didn't expect to have to heal, but I'm going to have to do so nonetheless. 14 Great Balls. I will need to keep an eye on my stock, because there are more snags incoming, and some of them are kind of tough. One, 2, 3. Swine up, get. Oh, right, this Shadow Pokemon is a thing. Swinub in this game is one of the Shadow Pokemon that I keep forgetting even exists. There was already a Shadow Piloswine in the last game, and at the point you get this Swinub, it's kind of already outclassed by other things. Firstly, Piloswine doesn't evolve in this generation, even though this one has Ancient Power, which is one of the requirements for evolving it in Gen 4. And while it does have decent HP and attack, there are much better things. And its stats, in my opinion, aren't worth evolving at level 33. Kinda late for something so all-round mediocre. Swinub is a ground and ice type, which is a fantastic offensive typing, but a terrible defensive typing. And because ice moves are only special in Gen 3, you won't get much mileage out of that ice typing. Moves, well, you do have both Shadow Blitz and Shadow Wave for a bit of versatility, but on Purification you regain Ancient Power, which is an alright move. Charm is your XD exclusive move, which is not the best. Mist, I'm not really sure about that. And Mudshot, which, strangely enough, is actually an egg move for Swinub, and is probably the best ground move you'll have until you get the TM for Earthquake. This Swinub is kinda notable in that it has 2 egg moves to start off with, Ancient Power and Mudshot. For level up moves, there's really not much good that this Swinub doesn't already start with. The best is Blizzard at level 56, and Amnesia at a whopping level 70. Why they decided to give Piloswine level up moves all the way until then, I really have no idea. For TM moves, you have your standard things, you know, Hail, Ice Beam, Blizzard. They're not that great with your low special attack though. Earthquake is pretty decent though, and you do have Sandstorm because you are immune to both Hail and Sandstorm, and Rock Tomb is an alternative to Ancient Power if you want to slow down the foe a bit. For tuner moves, you have Body Slam and Double Edge once again, and also Icy Wind, though in this case it's pretty obvious this thing would learn that. If you want to use Swinub or Piloswine, go ahead, but personally, I think that Donphan is a far better ground type. It evolves much earlier, and you can obtain it a little bit earlier in the game. And in terms of base stats, the only thing Piloswine has on it is 10 more HP. And now we have access to the stadium. Also, Grek is a pretty funny name. We're also getting a lot of money in this area, so I can probably go back and buy even more Pokeballs. How much do I have right now? Let me check. Actually, almost as much as I had before I bought Great Balls. I think I might do that. I might go and restock those items, although it's not a bad idea to restock healing items at this point, too. Because there's a pretty tough boss fight coming up in the stadium, but there's also a few fights that come before it. For now, though, I think I'll leave here, and next time I'll be entering the stadium and, hopefully, fighting the boss, so I will see you there. Oh, Duskull's ready to be purified. And Vulpix! Nice interruption there. You know, you made that with good timing, because if you were any later, you would have happened off camera, so, good job. Anyway, I'll see you again next time.